right, guys, we're back. One Pot Podcast, episode 41. Your boy, see it.
Which one am I going? Oh, me, Trevor.
Dennis.
It's your boy Donville.
Yes, guys. I can say, you guys, we've been missing for last week. Had some things that we all had to tie up, and I guess just like a mammal in the ocean, sometimes it goes on for water, it has to come off for air. You feel me? Just breathe for a little bit. We need that oxygen so we can get our own things done. But we're back. Back with a different meds, different vibes. Man. Danville, earlier we were talking about some things that I think that based on your experience, I would love for the people to be enlightened on.
Definitely, man. I was watching The Breakfast Club, and I don't know if y'all saw Andrew Yang was on there.
Yes.
He's running for president 2020.
Yes, everybody I try to be a president
stay up on the politics.
Yeah.
But he said something really that struck a chord with me. He was talking about how basically robots are taking over. Mm-hmm. And I have access to information where, they really are. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people thought that, the jobs are going overseas and all that during the last 5-10 years. Mm-hmm. It's really robots that are taking over. Mm-hmm. You look at, the automotive industry, mm-hmm. their production lines all robots. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk, his entire Tesla production facility is mostly robots. Yes. You only got humans there to do like little small things that robots just can't do, like certain mechanics, certain movements. Right. But what I do in the professional world mm-hmm. is I look at, business processes and look to where if it's something that's repetitive, we could program a process to just kick that off automatically. Like mm-hmm. it's called a virtual workforce. Yeah. So like you have the humans, you have the virtual workforce. It's literally just bots, which are really workstation computers. Yes. And you program to do whatever you want. So let's say you have Becky in accounting. Right. And Becky's job in accounting is to look at invoices, sort them out, decide which ones the company's going to pay, log all the information, make sure it's being reported properly in, the financial reports, mm-hmm. right? That's a process you can have a robot do. Yeah. You look at things like a big thing is what is it? Radiology. Yeah. Like so a lot of those people, they'll do x-rays and look at that information and try to figure out what's going on. They have they have processes that can actually scan images and look at anomalies and see and take based on information that was scanned before, look and say, hey, this area is a problem. Mm-hmm. And take that information and send it off to a doctor. That's something that can be a job that can't exist in the future. Yeah. And you look at things in the past, like who needs telephone operators anymore? Oh yeah. Awesome. It's like that job's gone. Yeah. It's slowly. So I definitely want to, what I'm saying? This has been going on for like years now. Mm-hmm. So I just want to definitely get it out to the people and let y'all know, like, hey, pay close attention to the job that you're doing. If it's something that could easily just be, it's repetitive, you might want to get out of it.
I mean, I think it's a wonderful thought because I'm gonna dig deep. My mom used to work in a company in Jamaica. Yeah. Right. This is years ago. She lives here now. And when they did go away and took her position away, they didn't take just her position. It was like 5 departments got closed down. Oh yeah. The only people that they really kept was like the supervisors, and that just because those people was technically there signature signers to sign off on what the documents got printed out and got done.
Just confirm things.
You feel me? And and it was gone. And I can say based on some of the things that I've done in the last couple of years, I mean, I'm big on accuracy, right? And I've learned a lot that sometimes I understand why they're trying to go automative is because they're trying to decrease humans' ability to make human errors. Trevor, my dog. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I mean? Trying to reduce human errors. And I mean, don't get me wrong, based on what I've seen personally, I don't think it will replace the human being, but I understand what the goal is. Yeah. But I would say this, I can see that that's something that's being pushed for, and it's being pushed for nationwide, not just in production lines. Oh yeah. Even in the hospital, because half the stuff that the nurses used to do before, it's more like a housekeeping at this point, where they stick you with a specific needle, and then the machine calculates everything. Yeah. Then it's like, I got all your vitals that way. I've read some stuff when they're talking about. I mean, now guys, we've had this conversation about beliefs. So I'm gonna say it's like the mark of the beast. And they're trying to use it in the medical field. That's one of the first places that they aim for it. It's basically a chip that they'll put on the back of your neck. So whenever you go to the hospital, they just scan it, and it will give them a full updated information on what's going on with your body, and so they can assess and know how to treat. And this is something that I've heard is being used by some of the elites already. It's not really.
Yeah, it's not. It's already in. It's already in use.
Yeah.
So I see that.
To touch on the robotics thing, it's incredible to look at the cost to implement something like this. It's very, very, very low. Like, just to throw the number out there, it's under 20,000. And you're talking about that cost just one time to replace 7 people's jobs. So think about the return on investment on that. Now the thing is, it's supposed to be like the makers of it that formed the technology. They made it to where they made it because they want people to be creative and still work along, and let the computers just take care of the mundane stuff. You know what I mean? That's the real purpose behind it. But a lot of these corporations, they're not looking at that. They're looking at the return on investment, and they're saying, hey, if we can cut these jobs, why not?
Because at the end of the day, you pretty much cut down on costs if you have to pay for benefits for people.
Oh yeah,
you have to pay for vacation time, all of this. You got to worry about people being sick. You got to worry about people not showing up for work. You got to worry about all this other type of stuff. Yep. But when you have the machines incorporated into it, as long as the machine does not break down or have a technical error, it has a projected range of what it can spit out per day, per hour, stuff like that, which is good. But the human aspect of it as well is that humans have the ability to make rational decisions. So, like, let's say if you have a drone and you have an actual human sniper.
Yeah.
A human sniper will be able to differentiate between, a radical person and a random, civilian child. The drone will not. It's just a target. So, like, in different aspects of things like that, it depends on where they're actually stationed, how much of a benefit they're actually going to be. So, like, for, like, automotive and stuff like that, if you're trying to push, some cars a month or per year, something like that, you have, like, demand from different countries and whatnot, it works.
Yeah. But,
like, with, like, the more, like you said, mundane stuff, like the little technical things, like, I don't see a robot being a CNA. So, like... It's just one of those things when it comes to catering to certain aspects. Yeah,
I don't definitely emotional side, thinking outside of the box. It's not gonna work, But
then it said, I don't think a robot's gonna be a CNA on my mind. I automatically went to Rosie. You guys
Rosie?
Yeah,
Rosie from the Jetsons.
That's Rosie from the Jetsons.
Right.
You feel me?
I actually saw this robot. This is like 10 years ago. I saw this video, but they had a robot that was like lifting people up. Like it's like a nurse, you know what I'm saying? How CNAs have to lift and move people around. They had a robot doing that, so
unless
pretty crazy.
Unless it's like Baymax, ain't no point.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say this because we realize that in the medical field, there's a lot of elderly people that work in that field, and it's not all the time they'll be able to help lift the patient. I can attest to some of the people who I've known working from different areas that I've lived in. Yep. That says that when they have to lift a patient, they have to actually call for extra assistance.
Yeah,
to do
definitely. I've heard that lots of times. And then even a lot. One thing that Andrew Yang brought up was the whole truck drivers. That's for a person that doesn't have a college degree, it's a very high paying job.
Yes, it does.
It's like the number one, and they're saying within 5 years that's going to go out because of
the Tesla thing.
Tesla's robot trucks,
right,
things like that. It's really going to affect that market.
Yeah,
things like that we got to think about, man.
Well, I mean, based on the thought, Donville, I think that's something that's in the driving force. I've learned, I must say, in the last couple months, you have to learn how to be lucrative in different things. Take what you know, learn how to grow and make things better, because you know, like I can look at my uncle. My uncle lives in Canada. He actually is very good at running this machine that makes his mattresses for bed.
Yeah.
You know, like put the mattress together, like stitch it, find
stuff
like that. And like he showed up to work a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Well, just so you know, I know you're retiring this year, but we really don't got nothing for you to do." And he's like, "What you mean you got nothing for me to do?" He's like, "Are you gonna send me home?" They're like, "No, but you've been here since the '80s.
Yeah.
You know, we'll give you paperwork to do." And he's like, "So who's replacing me?" And they brought him over there, and they're like, "Look, that machine that came over there, you know how the engineer been working with you the last couple months?
He's been building the machine.
he's been building, help put this project together. And now your position is gone." And he's like, you know, here I thought that I had this little young guy that was working with me. He's gonna take over after I retire, and they basically let him go. They said, like, "Look, we really don't need you anymore," and he's gonna retire. So
he's gonna retire anyway.
We're just looking out for him. So we just got to learn how to be lucrative, not to just stay in one lane.
Also be flexible. That's the main thing. You gotta be flexible in whatever you're doing. I mean, I think it's just a thing of the older generation before us.
Yeah.
To where you sit and you do the same thing for 40 years and you retire and all that. It's just, I don't see it happening for our generation.
Yeah. I mean,
so many things are changing so fast.
Like, I don't see myself at where I'm at for 40 years.
No, you probably get another 15, 20 out of it, sure.
I don't even see that. Like, I don't know. I don't see longevities in these kind of corporations.
Yeah, the world is changing so fast.
Yeah. No, I mean, sure. I think because I've dabbled in certain things in that expertise, and I've seen where, for example, I can look at what my wife does, right? I can look at what my wife does, and I look at what the other corporation is doing based on what my wife does. Like what she does now, another corporation has machines that does like 90% of what she does.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, wow, look at it. One company, you're doing this. The other company, you're back in the beginning. And they do have their different reasons why they don't want to go full production, full mechanical production. But when you listen to their long-term goal, it's basically to get that. And
that's what I'm telling you, Zion. Like, I'm part of that initiative. Like, they're trying. This is not just something that's like touching the business. Like, we know who they are. Yeah. They're trying to push this throughout the entire corporation.
Yeah, because even the last thing I was doing, that's a conversation they used to give me. Oh, like, what you're doing now that's going to take away people's job, and I had to consistently get to redefine that it can't take people's job. But when you listen, when you go to the meetings and listen to what they're talking about, at first I thought it was just, as you say, you're part of that team.
Yeah.
You know, I personally didn't think that team was existed to the standards of what they're looking for now, or the criteria. And I spoke to someone this week, and they're like, yeah, they're pushing harder than ever.
Yeah, like it's happening now.
Yeah, they're pushing harder than ever. And, you know, he's like, yo, based on what he does, I mean, and that's why I gave the same number Trevor gave. Yeah. He was like, yo, he's looking at 15 years. They're probably not going to need him anymore, because the people who they even are trained to do what he's doing is coming in at less money, right? And they're trying to even do twice the work. And he's like, there's no appreciation for what I'm doing now. You're looking at all the, and I'm gonna say, I work with a lot of elderly people who's shown me, shout out to Miss Shannon, who showed me like what learning in the beginning is for. Yeah. Because of what she can do. Now, based on how her showing me that and watch what everybody else in her area does, no one is even like 80% of her. You know? And I'm looking at her like she's a relic about to walk out the door in the next couple of months. Yeah. Right? She's gonna be gone. And when you listen to the engineer, it's basically, well, you know, I know what Shannon does, but this machine is gonna do what she fixes. And then that machine is gonna do that. Now, instead of this gonna be completely hand inspected, we have the specific X-ray machine that does this. And it goes down the line, and they're like, yo, you guys are really trying to find angles, because they're like, yo, look, the thing about Shannon is that Shannon needs to work consistent overtime. And that's why when I see all you guys, especially I know Trevor and Dennis, they put in work for their overtime. Yeah. You know, they're like, yo, we're contesting for, we can't find somebody else who can ever give me that overtime. Like, you know, Trevor and Dennis, if they ever decide to leave their field, it's like, who's going to come in on the weekends and on Sundays sometimes to help get this done? They can't guarantee that person. Now with a machine, they can keep them running, right?
24/7.
There's no, you ain't paying them the overtime. You feel me?
Put it down for
Somebody
maintenance
still
and
has to monitor those
start it back up.
machines. And the problem with the machines is they have so many moving parts. You have to have, if it's not able to tell you what's wrong with it, you have to find it. If it's a fuel line, it has to be replaced. If it's a part that like a motor or something like that that you don't have on hand, you need to order it. You also need somebody that can install that. Like if you have one person that's sick, you can have another person do that person's job, even if they're not as good. You still have somebody doing it. But if that machine breaks down and that's the only form of production you have in that field, your whole facility stops.
I'm glad you bring that up, Dennis. I'm glad you bring that up, because another part of my job is creating the monitoring tools for this virtual workforce.
Oh, so
literally,
I could answer the same.
I have a dashboard. Like, so let's say a computer goes down, or let's say it doesn't even go down. Let's say it shows warning signs that it's just slowing down. I get an alert. Boom. Okay, let me move these processes over to this computer. Yeah. Let me see what's going on with this one. Yeah. All right, it's back up and running better. Move the process back to that one. So, I mean, look at your car now. Your car basically tells you, hey, I need this done. I need that done. Your car tells you everything. So why can't a machine tell you with a computer installed and sensors installed?
But it's
what needs to be done soon.
Telling another machine, in that aspect, your vehicle is telling you, and you have to get it.
Yeah, but in your example, the machine could say, "Hey, I'm gonna need this part replaced soon. Order the part. Yeah, have it shipped to the place, and just say, hey, John, go install the part."
Amazon's close to that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so that's
the reason why Walmart's dead. Amazon.
There. Now, what if they get to the point where they're shipping the parts off, and it's like, all right, you got HAL 2000 sitting right there. The part comes in. You tell it that's the part in the box. One robot. Grabs the part, and it installs it into the machine, or you have somebody load it into a robot.
From a business aspect, that is great.
But from a human aspect, that is not, because you're gonna have all of these people that can build these machines and monitor them. What about the people that can't?
No, well,
if you're sitting there and you're not on that type of level, like of intelligence or technological aspect, you couldn't even dream of getting a job in that field. So then, which means that you have to find some other form of work.
Yes, correct. So Dennis, you're right. Because I can say, based on what I've seen, and this is from my experience, is that as I worked in management and engineers, it's just the first thing, and to just the one thing that I'm going to say in the same breath, they like to order. If your team is good, they will always order in advance. So I work with a machine that basically, as Donville says, it hits a red light that says in the next 28 process, you have to replace this tool. Now, when you talk with a facility or a maintenance worker, you ask them, well, is that correct? You'll be like, no. Instead of 28 runs, it can do 40 runs, but they have to put that alert in there, so everything is ordered. Now, based on them doing that, and this is what I was part of the beginning step of help doing, right? Is to make sure that all that stuff is completely ordered ahead of time. So the instant if something gets replaced, they need to order 6 months ahead of time. Because what happened is, when they were not doing that and stuff gets broke, as the way you're talking about,
work stoppage, right?
Yeah, it was a heavy stoppage. So I helped implement it instead of ordering 1 month in advance. We were ordering 6 months in advance. Now, since we started ordering 6 months in advance, the only person who technically was doing majority of the hard work was the maintenance guys, because they're the one who will come in and swap anything out. As an operator, we don't even do anything. We just step back. We ain't doing nothing for the next half an hour, or they will say, well, PM will take a specific amount of hours, and it's either you can go work with another operator and watch what they're doing, and let the facility guys work on them. Now, I'm going to say this. One of the good things about what a lot of us does is that we have older products. That's what keeps a lot of this manpower in, is that the newer products, yes, are going to full automation. The old products, they can't fully put it automated. And I think you guys are realizing they're slowly pushing for those old parts. Like, when I mean they're pushing. And you guys know what I'm talking about with the machines that they're trying to get for it. Yeah. The older parts is what's keeping manual labor afloat.
Oh yeah.
So for the fact that some of the guys, and I guess we have to thank some of these people. I mean, I guess the mechanics can attest to that. You have to thank some of the people who's buying some of the 1980s and 1990 cars. Because if you start buying the cars in the 2000s, right?
That's right.
It's more like you're stuck with a dealership.
Yeah, there's less. I mean, look at my cars. I only have to change the oil like every 6 months.
Yeah.
It's not like, every 3 months like it used to be back in the day.
Mm-hmm. And not to brag with this one, like I have free unlimited oil change in my car. Yeah. So I don't ever have to go to another place to get an oil change. It's more like, hey, I'll just drive to my dealership and he's like, what you here for? Oh, an oil change. Well, you don't need an oil change, but I like to have one now.
Let's do it now.
Yeah, just do it now. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's the convenient, and I want you to understand, like, what these things are doing is taken away from small business owner. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. I think the goal is, it's like, we know where we're heading. I don't think we know where our place is as just employees is going to be. Yeah. Because yes, it's going to get to a point where it's going to be easier. It's going to just makes more sense just to do it with the robots. Let the robots do it.
No, I mean, I
you know what I mean? It just makes more sense. And us trying to fight to hold on to jobs, it's like, it doesn't make sense because it's easier for the robots to do it. You know what I mean?
But the point now where you even got machines doing agriculture, like stuff that like skills that we as humans are supposed to learn for our survival. They're leaving to machines. So basically, if the world were to go upside down right now, like, how many people do you think would actually know that an apple comes from a seed? Or like the longevity of like growing a tree or growing lemons or fruit, or like what
understand the soil, watering.
That's why like when you have those like the rednecks and stuff like that, and all the people that like to hunt, I can't even knock them, because if everything were to go to hell right now, that dude has an advantage over me because he knows how to use a bow.
True.
You feel me? Like, granted, I know how to grow fruit, but I can eat in 3 months and he can eat today. So like it's I don't know. Like I'm on the fence about it. Like I understand giving them certain things to do.
Yeah.
Like we have a machine at a job that prints templates. Mm-hmm. That's literally the only job the machine has. It prints templates.
Yeah.
You need the template for the board. You take it from the machine after it finishes cutting it out or tracing all the parts, stuff like that. The only thing it needs you for is to change the pen out, the knife out, and the paper. After that, it does its job when you send it to work. Wow. That's fine. That's something that you wouldn't want to give somebody to do.
Yeah, you want accuracy, you want consistency.
Exactly. But it still needs help. Because sometimes it goes down randomly for no reason. And other times you'll have parts that need to be replaced and it doesn't think so, because it has it registered in there that it has a certain life expectancy on that part.
Yeah.
So the part can't be broken or anything like that. It could be sitting there broken, but it's not going to know, because it's like, okay, we're still at 50% on this part.
Yeah, I should be able to cut more.
So like that's where a lot of the human like thing comes into play.
I'm happy you said that, because I had experience with that machine. And I know you guys have different headaches. But question. We're jumping off topic. Did you guys ever request to change the blade any faster? Yeah. Okay. I'll say no more.
I don't know if I heard that. You may say it closer to the mic.
So I'm gonna let you know what you just talked about. I had that fixed. I've proven that theory, and their conversation was like, it's not cost efficient to change the blade that often. They wanted to push it a little bit more. And that's what half the issue is with that
cost
blade.
Sufficient to change the blade,
because
and the pen
because
and the paper.
Because what I was asking,
the pen gets changed out like what, every 3 days?
That's the pen. No, how often does the blade get changed?
I haven't even seen a box of blades.
Okay,
because the same one you have, you will never see it. It's not for us to see.
Yeah. Okay. So that was something that was brought up. That was told to me. Why? Because what happened is every week, what I would do, Dennis, I would take the blade out and change it, and we never had a cutting issue. Now they were like, okay, so why the blade it's being replaced so much that they're running out of the blades too quickly, and it brought up a very big discussion. And then we were told now we had to expand the blade. The blade were good for at least 3 weeks. Just make sure you clean the inside of it out. So so they cleaned the inside of it. Right, hold on. They cleaned the inside of it out. It started cutting a little bit better. By the end of week 2, like
it dulled out.
It dulled out, and everything stopped. And then somebody came in and with this wonderful decision was like, oh, he wasn't going deep enough. So.
Have these people ever used an X-Acto knife before? Because you have to change an X-Acto knife out after a certain amount of time.
You gotta mind that a lot of people that's making decisions on this
are not operators.
Never are there. They're never on hand.
They don't do work. They didn't do the work.
Ones and twos, and
just look at the numbers and data.
Yeah, and say, no, that's costly shit. Yeah, you have to change it every 4 months.
It's 50 cents. This one's 35.
Yeah. And it's a very tough game that they play with. They play with things, but look, it's rabbit holes. I know Trevor's dealing with, Dennis, you deal with it in different aspects. So it's Donville. I think that kind of brings me to one of the meat of the conversation that I'm trying to get to today. But before I get to that conversation, question: did anyone of you guys did get to pre-Buju's concert?
I saw some of the clips.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw the clips, man.
Powerful.
Nice.
Yes.
And all white, man. It's very powerful.
I'm not gonna dig deep in it. I'm not saying it's old news. I just want to say, based on, I'm just gonna broaden your horizon to Caribbean islands. I want to say unity is a wonderful thing. Unity is powerful.
Yeah.
It shows what you can gain and what you can fix with unity. All right. For me, who grew up in Jamaica, most of the events that I normally go to the Jamaican stadium to go for. It's very it's athletic events.
Yeah, track and field,
football. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or something cricket. Not even cricket play too much inside of the stadium, but it shows that we can bring some life back to our dark areas, because Jamaica used to have a show called Sting. And
Sting down tall.
Well, Sting has been canceled for the last year or two. Trevor.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, that's
usually before New Year's.
Well, right before New Year's. What happens is when Vibes Cartel got locked up. Yeah, I felt like Sting kind of went with him too. But that's a whole other conversation.
He's a big headliner.
He's a big headliner. And where Sting is actually kept for the last 15 years, Donville, prior to it being closed, is in the Portmore area.
It's always a Portmore thing.
And then Vibes Cartel is the king of the Portmore area. So it's the king there, jail, and I guess they didn't find the right artist who wanted to commit to it.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to fill, man. Tough shoes to fill.
It is a very tough shoe to fill.
He's not getting out, right?
Is he not getting out? Well, I'm gonna tell you. This is my opinion, guys, and I'm happy Dennis said it's not getting out. If Vibes Cartel would have been in the American system, Dennis, based on the evidence that they have against him and based what was happening in the case, they would have had to free him. Because for one, the cell phones that was basically considered one of the most credible evidence to his conviction has been tampered with. And from in the United States, if the main evidence is tampered with, it's null and void.
Yep.
So they would have freed him. In Jamaica, they were like, well, I know it was tampered with, but we still use it to convict him. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah. He's gonna be doing the time, and he's fighting it. I mean, they're fighting it, but Vibes Scott has been in jail, been consistently putting out good music, Dennis. So he's doing
that's true.
Thing.
I don't know what It kind of just popped into my head right now, but I saw this this video with this girl, and there was a bunch of people that were just trashing her or whatever, and basically here's the thing. I think the reason it pops into my head is because of cake soap. It's cake soap. So basically what happened is there's this girl, I think she's Russian or German or something like that. She's European, and she's addicted to tanning.
Oh,
so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. She tanned to the point where she looks.
Oh yeah, black. I saw that picture.
So I was sitting here the first time I saw her, I actually thought she was black, bro. I I was like, hold on, sure looks kind of nice, like, but like her color looks off. So like you're sitting there, I'm looking at it, and then they started going through the video, and I'm like, oh dang, oh, so like I'm like, you know what? If you want to do that to your skin, whatever. Yes. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get skin cancer, but if that's what makes you happy, that's what makes you happy. So then you had all these girls, like African American girls and stuff like that, running into the comment section, oh, this is disgusting, blah 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 blah. I can't believe that she would sit there and do that and try to be like us and this, that, and the third. Yeah. And I jumped into the comment section too. I'm like, yo, like you literally have people that are using skin lightening cream to get lighter. Oh, that's different. I'm like, no, it's not. It's literally the exact same.
Because to them, they're just toning their complexion.
It's like, oh, if you're sitting there because you got bullied for being dark or blah 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 blah, that it happens and stuff. That's just a society that we live in. But she's trying to turn it to a whole different race. She didn't say anything about wanting to be black. She just said that she loves to tan. Her dude loves to tan too. He didn't tan to the degree that she did. Yeah. But like when she showed her before pictures, she was like ghost pale. So like she started doing that to like basically tone out her color because that's how she looked. And then she got to the point where she was doing it like every
I'm like there's got to be some kind of like demarcation line where it's like, are you trying to be have more color? Or you just trying to like just go way into the deep
but the thing
end of the spectrum.
She does look exotic. You feel me? Like when she goes out and she takes pictures with her friends and stuff like that, she stands out. Like,
I'm sure she does. She looks like a brownie.
But here's the thing, though. But she didn't say anything about wanting to be black. She just said that she loves to tan.
I don't think you gotta say it to know it.
I mean,
that's what it is.
Well, you know what?
I can't do it like that.
If I see somebody doing the Block Boy JB, and trying to show out and see how cool they are, you trying to be black. Like that's what you're trying to get into that urban lane.
You're appropriating culture.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. It's a cultural exchange. It's a cultural exchange.
See, right. I think that she was just addicted to tanning. So like, which is why like it's like I didn't really jump to her defense. Yeah. But I didn't want them bashing her either, because like I'm not Asian, but I like cooking Asian food. You feel me? Like, true. And stuff like that. So, like, if that's her hobby, what?
How dare you?
I'm tempted to say, like, but like, it's like I don't see a problem with it because she didn't do or say anything disrespectful. Yeah. What she's using, we don't use. She has
a whole other thing. I was saying she was taking melatonin shots or something. Melatonin shots.
Well, the thing is like that her and her dude started off taking those shots. But it was because like they couldn't suntan where they live.
So they were taking shots of melanin.
They were taking shots to make their skin darker.
Wow.
They would, like, tint it, and they would feel sick. So they started using the boost instead.
Yeah, because they're in somewhere in Europe where they're not much sun touch them. You know what I mean?
They can't suntan. It's like 60 degrees outside all
the time. It's a genetic thing
for them.
And
so like
the trend, this is our trends. Is you look beautiful with that kind of tone.
Yeah, black is beautiful.
Melanin is
it's been.
That's what it is.
You have it where in some areas where being fair skinned is beautiful, like in Asia and stuff like that, they prefer people that are lighter.
Just
like if you hitting that ghost complexion, you're considered to be exotic.
They like it.
And then like the reason I started going at these females is because like I'm like, you're sitting here bashing her.
I just hear you now just saying
like
women.
Some of y'all probably got makeup.
Yeah, you should say women.
Some of y'all like have makeup in your bathroom right now that's literally doing the same thing. You're contouring, you're doing this, you're doing that. When you're doing that with your makeup, granted that's your hobby, so you can look pretty when you go out. But a lot of you change your complexion when you do that. And then you have people that are using the cake soaps and the Black China lightning cream
and that's the thing,
all this other type of stuff.
With makeup,
like,
you're supposed to. This is one thing these girls are messing up. With makeup, you're supposed to match your skin complexion. So the makeup you're wearing should match your skin complexion. When it doesn't, you look crazy in these streets.
Yeah. And a lot of the girls that should be a ratchet
don't
know what they're doing.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Because your complexion shouldn't change. It should just basically get rid of the blemishes and kind of enhance who you are, not change who you are.
Yeah, because what did they say? It was a comment some dude had said, and eventually like the male community just ran with it, and it was like a wet rag would humble a lot of females. And like man. when they were saying like what they were saying was disgusting to me, because like granted she was doing that, but that was her hobby, dog. Like and you're sitting here and I'm explaining how it is exactly the same thing as using skin lightening cream, and they're telling me no. They're saying it's different. It's this, that, and the third. I'm like, how is it different? Like I don't see how. One person's getting darker and one person's getting lighter.
Yeah, but you see, I'm gonna say this. Based on they're similar in two different ways. I mean, the skin bleaching and the skin lightening, and the lightening and the darkening and tanning, they're two one and the same, because you're altering your appearance permanently. With makeup, it's something that's
temporary.
It's temporary. You know, as you said, it's a wet rag would humble a lot of them females. It probably would. You know, that's why my thing is, if you're still dating, one of the best places to go on your first date is a swimming pool. And I got my own ulterior motive for that one.
I would love to meet someone that actually did that.
Yeah.
Like, how was your first date at the swimming pool?
Hey, look.
I'm sure
if they don't go in the water, you already know, dog.
Hey, look, now we're gonna go far fetched. For one, there's two things to kill in this moment. If you're a guy, you get to kind of see what your female kind of looks like, you know, close to her endeavors. You get to eyeball, and then the other one, you want to after the stuff I've been seeing on the internet, and I want to say stuff I see on the internet. Don't judge me. You guys put it up there. I see it. Right? I'm gonna need somebody to jump off in this water. So if I grab you and we jump in the water together, look. If you're so offended about your hair, I'll pay for it to get redone.
Face white challenge.
Here's a lot of money.
Yeah. I just need to know what you look like after that. You feel me? Because I know you guys have seen the Asian dude who divorced his wife because, you know what I mean?
The kid came out looking crazy.
Yeah, he was like,
the one that got facial constructive surgery.
Where these genetics come from?
Where did this come from?
They divorced the wife because the baby came out ugly. I was like,
dang.
It wasn't more than just one. It was like, what, three?
Yeah. They had a whole family.
Play with that, dog. Like, and like that's why, like, I really couldn't say nothing. Like, if homegirl would have said something reckless, like she wanted to be black. Like, what was it? There was the other lady that did that, who literally said she wanted to be black.
The lady said that she was black. The
lady from NCAA.
Yeah.
I say the NCAA.
She did tan.
Actually, yes, she did.
She did do tan.
She did.
But she
tan.
She was trying to live black for real.
She tan and she took her hair curly, bro.
No, I'm not defending her.
The problem with that, like, the reason I didn't have no grievance with her is because she was still doing what she could for the black community. Like, granted, she did what she did. She lied. And everybody was surprised by it. But she was still trying to do what she did for the black community. So, like, I gave her a pass on that one. I left her alone. The other lady was a completely different story because she wanted to be black. And she let it
that
know.
one day, it looks hideous.
Yes, the monster. Yeah, like, she came out and she said it. Now, when you come out and say that, now we have a problem. But with the other girl, like, she was just tanning.
I think it's just,
you feel me?
Like, there was like an image of the one that you originally was talking about. There was an image of her, and I saw her. I'm like, oh, some pretty black girl. I didn't really I didn't mind it. Then I started hearing news about it. I'm like, what? Am I missing something? Right. Then I saw a second picture. I'm like, oh, you're white.
Yeah, I didn't know she was white, dog. When I seen her, I was like, yo, shorty looking kind of good, but she looks off. Like her skin looks off.
Because I saw one image, I'm like, all right, what's the big deal?
And mind you, Dennis,
it's like
this lady that you said was doing so much for the black community, she's being charged with welfare fraud
right now.
Yeah, according to the New York Times.
I'd rather her take that bullet.
Rachel does
take that bullet.
Hey, Wesley Snipes made Blade.
Yeah, man. She got charged with welfare fraud.
So, like, we all fall from grace sometimes.
It's tragic.
It's crazy.
It is.
Shout out to her.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I can't knock her for.
She's still on the globe though. She still got the kinky curls.
Yeah, she's still doing her.
We're looking at a picture of Rachel Dolezal. She's still trying to look black.
Yeah, hey, dare to be different.
Hey man, black is beautiful. Yo.
I'm gonna say this. Look, if you ever pass through the great state of Florida and go to Central Florida, you have a couple of the Caucasus.
Couple
People out there.
I mean, that's
show you.
That's North Florida all the way to Central Florida.
It's for real.
I ain't nothing but Jacksonville.
And they rap it hard. You know what I mean? I've been seeing shirt with the goonettes.
All the way live.
Yeah, live. Grilled up, let you know we bought that live.
But you gotta understand that they did something to be able to run with that crowd. Yeah, like I don't know how it is nowadays, but I know back in the day, if you seen a shorty like that, when there was a squad of African American females, she earned her stripes somehow. She earned her stripes, bro. Like,
let's not.
I don't know if I want to dive into that territory. I don't know how, but I guess you did.
I'm not diving into it. But either you threw hands with somebody, or you helped somebody out, or whatever, and then they got your back. You became one of the squad. Mm-hmm. You earned your stripes one way or another. Nowadays, people be getting past it.
It's not hold on. Born in the hood.
Hold on.
You can't just be born.
Hold on. So this kind of goes into the Miley Cyrus thing, because I think Miley Cyrus kind of did something similar with hip hop. She earned her stripes somehow, and was rapping hard, and she just went straight country.
She threw money. That's all it was.
She got Mike Will. That's what
she started throwing money at somebody until they're like, you know what? I'm gonna just take that check and run.
Hey.
I'm gonna tell you, Miley started smoking a lot of weed, yo. I don't think when she was good, she was like, look, I was smoking too much, and I decided I just had to change my life, guys. So I stopped, I cleaned up, and now I'm doing country music again.
You see, I don't like that though. She said she cleaned up, like
that's real our culture.
Like we ain't dirty.
I'm just gonna keep her. That's what she was saying.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah.
What was it? Those posts that said she's trying to get back to her hip hop.
She is. Yeah.
I was like,
what?
Roots.
Roots where?
Like, you got roots from something that you borrowed.
What's her dad's name again?
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus. He's a country guy.
Yeah, he's a country singer too.
A one-hit wonder country singer. That big hit though.
Yeah.
For that lane.
That one big hit.
Where was
still riding that?
I'm sure, but
no roots.
You already know that. You have to. It's not what you do.
She better hope she Eminem niece if she talking about roots.
Yeah, but I want you to understand. We got Mariah Carey kind of rode that line for years too, bro.
Nah, but she
Mariah Carey? What line?
Nah, she kept it all the way hood.
But she kind of.
She was actually more. I heard that she was actually more hood behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Like she'll be smoking.
Dude, I heard about that too. I'm talking not from like the news or nothing. You hear that from
the hood.
Industry people.
Like Cameron would be chilling with her. She lighting up and all types of stuff.
She
was chilling with those people that were in those settings back then. Like nowadays, it's a whole lot more diverse.
It is. I would say this, Dennis. You're right. Now it is diverse because. I mean, I think Drake said something a couple weeks ago, and I think I've said it before, but it kind of stuck with me. Music is better when it's shared than when you hold it for yourself.
Like honestly, I don't look at Mariah Carey like she's white. Like I've never looked at her like she was ever. Like until somebody reminds me, I don't like. I just know her as a voice. You feel me? Like
you have to remember that Celine Dion doesn't even really speak English. That's not even her first language. And look how good she sings in English.
She don't speak English?
She's Canadian.
She's French. She's French.
She speaks French and English.
Yeah. So she's predominantly French. Like when you listen to her talk, you can hear her French accent when she starts singing.
Well, I can't say nothing because like Ella May got that British tone to her.
Yeah, when she sings,
she sounds like them Canadian cats though. But
she says she's not Canadian.
She still has a British tone.
But like her the way she pronounces her words and stuff shifts when she sings. As opposed to when she talks. Granted, it's amazing either way. I love listening to her speak.
I heard people say this a lot. Have y'all ever heard of like a British singer sing British? There's none. They don't sing British. British don't have a singing voice.
Mary Poppins.
This dude went back to 19.
Hey,
I'm still trying to think.
A spoonful of sugar,
dog. Wait, what about Craig Davis though? He's a singer.
And Craig Davis had more of an American accent when he sounds.
You think so?
Craig Davis or Craig David?
I don't know.
One of them,
David,
though. Tomatoes.
we all know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of
light-skinned dude
that,
from
did
England.
y'all see Idris Elba's video?
Yes.
We was talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Boston.
Okay, I finally saw it. I liked it.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
I like
it's a tough tune.
Yeah.
I just like the fact my dude was like, yo, he wrote his own stuff. I was like, damn.
No ghosty.
No ghostwriter.
It's like, yo, are you taking shots at Drake from a distance?
Nah, I didn't see. I didn't think about that.
There's a lot of people that ghostwrite.
There's a lot of people that you thinking, they rap so hard. No, they have people in the background.
Yeah.
But here's another thing since we're bringing about Idris. Is he like the British version of International Man, and Will is the American version of International Man? Because they're both doing the same, not the exact same things, but they're doing everything.
I think
Will who?
Smith.
Wait,
Yeah.
Will and who?
Idris Elba.
Because
I think they're a good comparison.
Idris
I think it's a good comparison.
Is DJing. He did.
He started out DJing like before the acting career. He was DJing.
Yeah, but also he was doing some type of Formula One racing.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Like he
What was a Formula One racer?
Well, it's not Formula One.
No, you're
it's
just talking about in different lanes. Because Will Smith is doing this bucket list thing where he's trying to.
Oh, okay, yeah, I seen that.
You feel me? I follow Will Smith on Instagram, and he's trying to do a stand-up comedy because, it's. And I'm happy how he gave shout out to stand-up comedians. It's not easy to stand in front of a crowd and be ready, willing, and able to entertain people for at least a good hour and a half.
Yeah.
That boy probably sitting at home getting bored and wanted something to do.
Well, no, Will Smith shoot too much movie. Forget that. Yeah, he's been even when I want you to realize, Dennis, even when we start thinking what has Will Smith's been doing, and you out of the blue you just see a movie pop, you're like, oh, so this is why you've been busy. And he stays consistent. Like when we didn't see him for the last couple of years, we're like, where's Will Smith? And then Bright came out, and we're like, oh yeah, you're still here. My bad.
Bright was dope. I can't wait for that second one. They said they already started working on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then to the people that's still hating on Genie, let the movie come out, please.
Oh, you're talking about Aladdin?
That movie's gonna be tough, yo. What do you mean?
Like they're sitting there and they're like, oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. It just don't look right. It just don't look right. I'm like, he's a freaking genie, dog. Like
It's supposed to be a blue fictitious.
But we
he's
don't know
not
Genie was
Arabic.
black.
He's not Arabic, and he's not Robin Williams. Well, genies aren't Arabic
Yes,
or Middle
Robin
Eastern.
Robin Williams.
Hold on. Robin Williams is white. So like,
But do they even know that? Like back in ancient times, like blue was considered black.
Yes.
Like there'll be paintings with blue people. That's really black people.
like when on those type of
saying
drawings,
like the
they
black team
depict
turn blue.
gods are mostly depicted with blue skin.
Yes.
So like unless you
They're black.
like in like Greece where they did the pottery and stuff, and like everything that they did was in black, and then the Egyptians same thing, like brown, black, stuff like that. But if you go to like the Indian, Middle Eastern stuff like that, their gods are blue.
It's really black.
Asura and Vishnu and all of them and stuff like that, like they all have blue skin.
I'll send you a documentary. It's really black.
Hey, I think knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Maybe it's the what they had available. I think they had blues and they didn't have a lot of black things
Probably
they could paint, but I think
they might have the right.
I think they had to use like blue powder or whatever to get that color.
Like, because you even have like some of the Egyptian deities, not Egyptian, Japanese deities and stuff like that. They all have different colored skin, like blue, red,
samurais
green,
were black,
stuff like that.
Samurais were actually the dark skinned people in Japan. Like you look at that art in Japan of samurais, they're all dark skinned, like the whole lineage. Remember, there's a very high percentage of dark skinned people in Asia.
Yeah,
because of the discrimination we've talked about earlier, you don't see them.
but like the first legit black samurai was what was his name, Yasuke, that worked for Nobunaga.
I think it's
And like
Nobunaga's my dude.
That dude fought in wars. Like he went through wars and wars and wars and wars. And even when like each house fell and he was there and like he was sitting there trying to die with his people, like they wouldn't kill him. They're like, yo, like you're fighting for a land that isn't yours. So technically, like, yeah, you fought as a warrior, but we can't execute you because this isn't your place. You feel me? So he served under a bunch of different lords and stuff like that. Like that's a good read right there. Like, because that's who they got Afro Samurai and all that off of.
Shout out to Sengoku. That's what I'm Son.
What?
Son Goku?
No, what is it called, Dennis? That game that we
Sengoku Basara?
Yeah, there you go. That was a cartoon. That was a good one. My dude Oda was murdering people in that one.
It was based off of Japanese history though.
But it was a wonderful episode. But based on what you guys saying, while Don was digging deep into the membrane, they like the Butcher Bantan concert.
I don't know how we got our way to that.
Yeah, well, we went to
It was the melanin
and stuff. But I mean, Buju did use a lot of people from different cultures. You know, he actually, when he did the event, it wasn't just tailored just to Jamaican artists. You know, he brought artists from all over the world to come perform because he's trying to show unity. And I think that's one thing that we gathered from Dennis going into the melanin thing, and you know, going into that debate, is that at the end of the day we're all human, and to each your own. Some people want to bleach them skin, some want to lighten it, some want to change them eye color dark so them can deteriorate them eyeball and all type of foolishness. You know, so you have people out there doing them things, and
yeah, the eyeball injection stuff was the craziest thing I ever heard.
Well, I don't know, Dennis. I used to see the people who have piercings running through their backs. You know what I mean? And I used to be like, yo, that's some demonic foolishness. And then to them, that's just, we like piercings. But, you know, everybody out there have something unique and then bring to the world on how they want to live their life. I mean, not because we don't accept how you live in your life mean that you should change. You feel what I'm saying? Right. I would say this. I may not agree with what you're doing, you know, but it's something to take in consideration. I guess that brings me to what I'm trying to get to, and into the mud pot of my head is like some of these things we may have to just, you know, break up with. You feel what I'm saying? We learn, and when I say break up, guys, break up comes with separation. It comes with detachment. You know what I mean? In Jamaica, I say just leave it alone, dog. You feel what I'm saying? Like how some people want to live their life. Yo, just break up with that situation. Leave it alone. If that person is not living the life that you want to live your life, you just get away from that. You know what I mean? Don't be inviting toxic things around you. If you feel like something is toxic, you should make some of the right arrangements just to get rid of it. For example, my mom's pastor preached about pork. You know, and also she hasn't been eating pork in the last couple of years. You know, he preached on pork, and now she's like, "Yo, exile! I don't want bacon in the house." And I'm like, "Dog, like I love bacon." You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I made some pork loin last night.
You see what I'm saying? Dennis made some pork loins last night, and now, you know what I mean, she's like, "Yo, I'm done with pork." Like, you know, she's like, and then she's the one who kind of she's like, "I'm broke up with pork, dog. Like me and pork don't day anymore," because she used to love. You know, she love her oxtail and things of that nature.
Beef.
Yeah, that's beef.
I'm sorry. Pigtail, Sheriff. Sorry, I'm saying my rice on peas. Right. Yeah, pigtail. So, you know,
me that there's no oxtail.
She was like, no, but she was like, yeah, no. And the reason I'm saying this is because I like stew peas. I mean, I don't know if you guys get to have stew peas. Stew peas, the pigtail is.
I love stew peas. You can do it without the pigtail though. Yeah, you don't have to use pigtail.
Yeah, but sure, it's not the same.
But I understand. But my girl's family, they kind of winged off pork a long time ago. So they do it. Well, not even beef. They do it with sausage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I haven't had it yet.
Okay, so I may have to try that.
Know.
Yeah, definitely try that out.
Yeah. I may have to.
Yeah, and I don't do pork a lot either.
No, it's not even that. Yo, it's not even. Dennis know that when it comes to the Haitian culture, I love my grill.
I made grill for the first time the other day.
You see that? No invite.
Like when I say.
No invite.
I say it's a humbling experience.
Yeah,
that's why he wasn't invited. So.
I had to go to work, so like I was just making something real quick. So
you could have let me know. I'd have picked it up. I'd have swing by.
I threw it down, and I was like, "Dog, like it's the whole process of making it. Like I've seen it made so many times." That eventually I was just like,
"Hey, hard.
Let me just try it up." No. If you don't know how to make it, it's not gonna taste.
Then it's like I had to go through the process.
Like just the prep alone is annoying. But yo, when you finally taste it,
Yeah.
dog,
Man.
I did it. I didn't mess it up. I didn't
Nice.
burn it.
Then it's
It
gonna
was
do that
cooked
Jean-Jean now,
perfectly.
though.
That I'm not messing with that.
You gotta do the Jean-Jean.
Yeah.
Actually,
and
I can
grill
do
is
that
not
too.
something you eat all the time too. It's like
Nah, that's
Yeah.
It's heavy. That's heavy.
yeah, because that's gonna kill you. All that fried pork,
It's like
come on,
you
man.
love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, you can't do that every day.
Yeah.
Kill yourself.
One of the
See?
sandwiches alone is like 1,100 calories. So
You see, I'm saying, guys, some of these things we got to break up with.
That's true.
I'm not breaking up a grill. I'm
This is
sorry.
I'm not breaking up. You see, you keep it as a side piece, right?
But there's
It's not even a
stuff
side
in
piece.
everyone's life that you just gotta
You just gotta
separate
gotta
yourself.
go.
Yes.
'Cause
You know what I mean?
this is toxic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I realize there's a lot of toxic things, especially I can say for me, I have internet things that is toxic. Like
Yeah.
I used to love go for media takeout. You
Oh
know,
man.
I
The wormhole.
that was not my life.
no, I'm just saying I had to like break up a media takeout because
Yeah.
at one point media takeout gave my phone a virus, and I'm like, yo, no, like,
Damn, you was on it that way?
no, Trevor,
clicked on one of the fake fashion over
I
ads?
went on media takeout, and then when you
You
click
take out
on.
had your phone caution.
Yo, look, like I'm told, like when you
Oh
click on the
my
website,
gosh.
and then
Yeah.
whenever you click on a website and it takes you to another website, you already know what
Yeah.
what wormhole this is.
Yeah.
So it's opening new tabs. Like, hold
Yeah,
on,
I'm
what's
like,
going
hold
on?
So I had to factory reset my phone just so I can.
Oh, crap.
I can clean it up. You feel what I'm saying? And I was like, yo, so I kind of I broke up with media takeout, you
Yeah.
know. And then my wife actually, she was like, yo. A friend told me that this was on media takeout. I'm like, babe, you forgot that we
stopped doing
separated?
that.
Yeah, like we didn't talk to her. So she was like, well, look, let's go to Baller Alert. So I started laughing.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Baller
All
alerts.
those
It's the
websites,
same
they're-
thing.
They're just kind of built horribly.
Yeah.
See, like I now thinking about because I haven't been to that website in years
See,
now.
Trevor, so you broke up with it.
WorldStar.
No,
I haven't been to WorldStar in
Man, yes,
forever.
That's something I've had to break up with a long time ago.
If I'm not looking for something specific,
Yeah.
I get disappointed.
Yes.
dog.
That's
Because like
That's facts.
WorldStar reminds you of how like it's the other side of black culture. Like it literally is. Like granted, when WorldStar first popped off, like it was like, yo, like, oh, they fighting. Oh, this person's doing this.
Yeah.
Oh, twerk videos. Oh, she's bad. Stuff
Yeah.
like that. But after you like grow out of that type of stuff
Yes.
and you look at it, you're like,
Yeah. I was like, oh, look at
how
this mom
far
on
we
meth.
fell?
Like, what?
Yeah.
No.
Like,
I don't want to
it's
see
like-
that.
because I've seen this post that literally said if aliens were to come right now and they went through our technology, like what would they find?
Oh my gosh.
They would find WorldStar.
Yeah.
So like, let's say like you got like some freaking alien spaceship runs through WorldStar. Only thing it finds are twerking videos and people are reacting to
Yo,
it.
that is-
and they
yo.
come and they touch
Yo,
down
please,
and
please.
they start they
Please
touch down,
don't touch
and they start
any
twerking because they think it's a form of communication or something like that. Like we got
Yo, you know, there have been dudes out there that's like, yo,
gosh.
what up? Yo, that is
And that would cause more WorldStar
Yeah,
videos. Just keeps going.
ET drops down and starts doing the nay. What are you guys?
Oh my gosh.
like he communicating. He's like, this is what I saw you guys were watching last year. No, Dennis, he said, tell aliens don't go through Twitter or Instagram, bro.
You can't even tell them that. They see it as our
Probably went through it
communication.
already. Like, yo, they're far gone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we should just take over this planet right now.
You'll be like,
Be like, no, we
distracted anyway.
we have nothing to gain from here.
Yeah. Let's just leave.
it's yeah, but I want to understand. And some of these things that we're breaking up from, it's not even things that's a necessity. You know, like we talked about different websites and foolishness like that, right?
Yeah.
And these are things that I want you to understand. When you hear people break up with stuff, even in relationship, it's there's always something there that you know you don't need, and you're sitting here stucking around for like, yo, why am I in this foolishness?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I wanted to touch on that because I feel like, look, the years start. Everybody's probably set them little goals. You know, like, oh, I'm trying to lose 200 pounds this year. You know what I mean? Just throwing that one out there for anybody. Don't judge me. I'm not trying to lose 200 pounds. About 50 would be good, but you know, this whole other conversation. You feel me?
Yeah.
But you know, we've tried some of these goals, and I mean, for some people it's not working. Some people it's working. I'm not telling anybody that if something is not working, you know what I mean, not to try to do it to see if you can get it work. But
Yeah.
to me, it's like you break up with that situation, break up with it, and find you something new. You know what I mean? Sometimes it may not be that you're trying to work out. It may be the people that you're trying to work out with. who's not motivating you to gain that goal. So you just gotta, break up with that workout group and get into a relationship with another group who's gonna help motivate your situation. And I feel like that's how things is growing. Like, for example, Chanel be doing a gardening, and when we garden, we had some little small pots, and she was like, "Well, my plants are not growing." I'm like, "Babe, like, I'm gonna keep it real. That pot's breaking. You may have to get a bigger pot." And we had a small debate about, why she should put in a bigger pot, because it's gonna grow better. Because she doesn't want this type of plant inside of the ground. She want to keep it, movable.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Babe, I'm gonna keep it real. Like, you have to just break up with that situation. Now that the pot ain't working, that plant can't grow inside of that pot." So we went on. We bought some little, what we call little, like, clothes.
Just make a trough.
Well, I bought, the little clothes hamper thing, the ones that it's completely sealed.
Yeah.
I bought one of those, drilled some holes in the bottom, and bought some pot and soil, and then boom, and her thing just flourished. Like, her pepper tree just is just growing now. And she's like, "Babe, look at it, wonderful idea." And I'm like, "Babe," and it's just like it's a constant reminder I've been having the last couple of weeks about sometimes you just gotta break in, even if if breakup is a strong word because your relationship, base. We can use this another word, separation. You mean
transition. It's that thing. The thing you're getting to is being stuck in a situation. You can't just sit there.
Yeah,
you gotta do something. You gotta get out of it somehow.
Yeah,
either move on, or move on to something better.
Move out to something better, or try something new.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, don't be stuck. As my wife used the word cycle. Like, we all go through cycles, and we all have individual cycles that we go through in our life, because we're human beings. We're not perfect. There's just certain things that we like doing, and we're gonna do it. But if you're closed minded, you have to break up with closed minded. Something you got to be open minded. You have to be willing to think outside of the box.
Yeah,
you feel me? Because I can say I'm closed minded at times. Majority of the time. And it's something that my kids has been teaching me. It's like, "Daddy," and I'm like, "No, it's not going to work like that," because I'm thinking, I know this way, I'm set this way. And sometimes, like now, especially my oldest daughter, she tell me something, is like, I try to listen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Well, baby," and I try to explain to her why is it not going to work. Because if I keep just like ripping her ideas apart, how is she going to be able to grow? You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I've been telling her, "Baby, this is why it's not working," so she can reevaluate her situation and come back to getting it done. Like, for example, during the spring break, I wanted her to break away from always having mommy do her hair.
Yeah.
And my thing is, like, the simplest thing I really wanted you to accomplish during the spring break for her is how to put your hair in a ponytail by yourself. Like, if your mom she has to be at work at 4:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right. So, and you don't go to school, you're not getting up till about 5:30. Right.
Yeah.
For you to get ready for school. So if mommy doesn't get the proper time in to do her hair, now I'm trying to do her hair. Not judge me. I don't know how to do hair.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to do the best I can with what I can. Right. So, during this holiday, I kind of have my wife kind of give me a little tips, just to make it simple, because I'm not trying to complicate it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you're gonna have to just, because if I'm busy doing something at the moment, you want me to do your hair, and what I'm doing in the mornings, I can't technically step away from doing, because it's very vital to what I'm trying to accomplish. And I found out that some of the times I'm stepping away doing this thing, and it's kind of missing opportunities and certain things I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I had to tell her, like, I'm breaking up with doing your hair. Like, if you want your hair to get done and you want to look fly in the morning time, you need to catch your mom's before she goes to work. So she's been having a very struggle on spring break. I've been messing with her, because like, every time you gotta go, look, I'm going on the road. You can't come with me. Why, Daddy? Because you're not doing your hair. You feel what I'm saying, Trev? So I'm kind of hitting her where it hurts, and she's like, so now she's going through her own breakup. Because she's like, now she wants to eliminate my excuse of why she can't do something. She's like, look, I'm literally trying to break up with mommy doing my hair. You know? So I took her to the hair store yesterday, and had her buy some things that, I knew would be needed. I had her mom was with her as well.
Yeah.
And get her some little things like, the proper brush that she can, holding her hand to make this happen.
Yeah.
Whatever technical hair products that she may need to pop this off. And I'm hoping that it's Saturday. She has 24 hours to
Get together.
to get
Practice.
to get her goal ready, because school is back on Monday, so she's gonna have to break up her spring break because there's a new door open. You know what I mean? She can't. They know getting up at 11 o'clock in the afternoon now.
Yeah.
Now it's back to getting up at 5.
I had to do that with my brother because he was at my apartment since last Friday, and I dropped him off last night, and that boy was upset.
Dang.
Because I'm like, yo, I'm about to make moves. Like he's like, oh, you sure I gotta go back to? I'm like, yes. You
Gotta go home, dog.
Like, I mean, I enjoyed having him there and stuff like that because like I don't get to chill with him too much because I'm always busy. Yeah. And it's just interesting seeing how his mental state is, and it's interesting when you look at it from how you were raised specifically compared to your other siblings. And I have 2 other siblings. I have my sister and I got my brother, of course. And like the way like I was raised, I was the trial and error child.
That's right.
So like everything that parenting 101 was supposed to be, they ran through me first.
Yeah.
So then everything that didn't work, they didn't apply to my sister. So like my sister ended up being like she's very like reserved. She's to herself. She's quiet, like very sweet, stuff like that. And then my brother, to whatever it is that they they're like, okay, we learned this from him, we learned this from her. They applied to my sister. So my brother turned out a different way too.
Yeah.
But like it's just interesting how we all like interact and stuff like that. And my brother, like my parents are trying to be like stern with him and stuff like that, but they're also trying to give him his freedoms at the same time.
Okay.
So he's kind of used to that, but like he still has a curfew. And this entire time that he was staying with me, he didn't have a curfew.
He was loving that.
So like he was sitting there, I'd be at work and like he'd be out with his friends or something like that, and like he pretty much make sure he was back by the time I got out of work and stuff. But like he had his nights where he was hanging out. Like Jit wouldn't come walking in through the door till like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting here looking at my phone. I'm like, bro,
I start twitching. What?
I'm like, dog, I'm like, yo, I ain't trying to tell you what to do.
But this ain't your house. I got
I'm like, yo, what's a 16-year-old doing out at 4 o'clock in the morning, dog? Like, he's like, oh yeah, we're just hanging out and stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not trying to be that dude or whatever, but like, I want him to have fun. You feel me? Like, I want him to enjoy himself, because like for me, like when they were sitting there, they were coming hard at me when I was growing up and stuff like that, and I finally got to that point where I had that freedom. I started wilding out.
Yeah, but I
started wilding out, and like I don't want him to hit that phase and start doing the same thing. So like every now and then, if he has something that he wants to do, or if he wants to go chill with his girl, or he wants to go do this or go hang out with his friends, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come pick you up. Then I'm not saying that.
But I think
like you're with your brothers.
I think as you get older, you realize how important it is for the kids to be at home, because like as a parent, it's hard for me to sleep if my kids are not sleeping. Like it's hard for me to sleep.
Yeah, like
so,
it got to the honestly.
I couldn't imagine my kids being out, even as teenagers, being out 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just at home chilling. Like
it got to the point where it
stresses me out,
irritated me, and I didn't have to tell him. Like he knew.
Yeah, like
irritating me. So like he would sit there, and like when I get off of work, we'd sit there, we'd spend a couple hours together, watch something.
Yeah.
Like on my off days, like I'd make him food, stuff like that. He cooked.
See, he made grill, dog, without inviting me. I see how that runs. I hear you. We ain't never let that one go, Dennis.
Like, hey, bro, I'm still waiting on my plate of oxtail, dog.
See, I said the oxtail. It's the oxtail. Make sure you heard that.
I'm gonna say that's gonna be my fault, because the only meat that I've been putting in the house lately is chicken. So because I haven't put no oxtail, she ain't cooked no oxtail. So if you want some oxtail, buy some oxtail, dog. And then
if you want some grill, buy me a pork shoulder.
That's fine. That's fine.
There you go.
That's fine.
But like it's like it. I got used to him being there, or whatever, and it was cool because like we would vibe, we would sit there, and we would have conversations. He's a really smart kid, And like just getting a whole outlook of how like the youth is coming, well, at least from his perspective, like is coming up. Like I'm like, you kind of like left the world in the hands of a kid like this. Like it wouldn't be so bad because he makes smart decisions.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then like I dropped him off last night. I'm like, all right, I got my bachelor's pad back and stuff like that. I'm gonna chill. So I started cleaning and everything like that. I tidied up, got everything, stuff like that. And then I didn't end up going to sleep till like, I want to say like 7:30 this morning.
Dang.
Because it felt weird. Like it felt weird that he actually was not there.
Yeah,
you feel me? Because I got used to him being there.
True.
So I was like, dang, I actually missed Jit. So like I don't know, like it's a whole thing. Like it felt weird. It honestly felt weird. But when I dropped him off last night, he was like, "Yo, honestly, I'm mad. I gotta go back home." I'm like, you know, your mom misses you, right? She literally said it. Like, she missed him or whatever. That's her. That's her son.
It's a baby.
Yeah, that's the baby. So like, he was like, "Oh, I don't know what she missed me for." I'm like, she misses you because she's your parent.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're still her child. You came out of her. Like, usually you guys spend spring break and stuff together. He's like, no, we don't do that. And then I started sitting there reminding him of all the times that they went out without me and stuff like that. And it's just like, I'm like, yo, she made sure you were good. Like, anytime you had vacation time, she made time to spend with you. So like now, like you haven't been home for a week. You feel me?
A long time.
Like you check in. Like I made sure he checked in because homeboy was not trying to have no type of contact. With home base. I'm like,
dude was like exile.
I'm like, you better call or text your mom, bro. Yeah. Like, don't do that. So he was like, man. He's like, I sat there. You know, I basically had the whole apartment to myself, and you know, I kind of did what I want and stuff like that. I went and hung out with my friends, and now I gotta go back. I'm like, yeah, you gotta go back to the real world.
For real.
But like
reality kicking in, Dennis.
Yeah, I'm like, you gotta go back to the real world. I'm like, yeah,
my God, might have had a little taste of college life, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a good taste, Donovan. It's a good taste.
Like, don't think it's like is this easy when you get on your own either. I'm like, add bills, add a job, and add social anxiety. And then you'll be an adult. I was like, you'll learn that someday. But man, he was thankful for it nonetheless.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis, and I'm happy that you take your brother Nathan wing, because some of us, I can speak for myself. When I was his age, and I can say my influence was way different. You know, because in my 16, I was running with people I was never supposed to be running around with. So it's nice that you're taking him and kind of showing him a proper way, especially the fact that you have your own endeavors, you have your own apartment, you know, and stuff like that. So you're showing that, yo, even if him there by himself, you can have success. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that I did for him is like, if I would go to like meet friends and stuff like that, like he met y'all and everything like that. He met Sam and Renee and them and stuff like that. Like he met the people I consider to be in my circle. And he was sitting there and he was like, man, he's like, you know a lot of people. I'm like, yeah, I know a lot of people, but how many people do you see that I interact with? I'm like, I have a lot of people that I say hi to. I have a lot of people that say hi to me and stuff like that. But like, these are the people that I interact with. I'm like, these are my grapevines. You feel me? Like, I'm like, this is the type of people that you need around you. If you don't have this type of quality, then no, don't poison yourself. You feel me? Like, I'm like, this is what family looks like. This is what they tell you and stuff like that. He's like, I can see that. Like, you all like really care for each other and stuff like that, and everything. Like he would see how like I interact with my god kids and stuff like that. And like he met Gio and Angel for the first time and stuff like that. And like they all like took him in and everything like that. They made him feel comfortable. Like you guys made him feel
Sammy
comfortable.
cook for him?
Man, did she cook that day? No, she didn't cook that day.
Oh, yeah, maybe he missed it out.
She had made what was it? A bread pudding one day. And he had me call her so he could tell her that he loved her. Yeah, that bread pudding was banging though, but like
Nice.
it was like he got to see what quality people look like.
Yeah.
It's
So
something
I'm like, this is
important.
how you have to make sure your inner circle look like, or I promise you, it will go to hell in a handbasket. Like this is the type of people that you need around you.
Yeah.
So then that's when we got into one of those conversations and stuff like that. And from what it looks like, he's got good friends.
Mm-hmm.
He really does. So
I mean, and then that's one of the good things. You have to show them how to. If you don't surround yourself with the right type of people with the right mentality, it ain't gonna help. It is not gonna help your mind grow. You feel me? Sometimes you have to. It's like a plant, and we're talking about the plant earlier. About my wife having it in a small pot. Sometimes you need to get your plant. You get your mind in a bigger pot, or a better situation for it to be able to grow and to be stimulated. You know, because I can tell you, based on these peppers I'm getting off this tree, would have never happened unless I put it in a bigger pot, dog. Mm-hmm. So you have to make a transition to move. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So it's nice that you're showing him that, and I believe me, Dennis, at his age, it's something that it would stare by, because I can tell you, a lot of the decisions I can say I made in my life is based on a lot of the experiences I've had in my teens. You know, it's not saying to be rational or irrational, but you learn to separate the good from the bad. Like, when I was younger and I did this didn't work. Now I know that, in the situation, like, for example, like now I don't burn bridges. Not saying anything, because sometimes if you burn a bridge, you don't know when you may be able to cross it. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not even that you're crossing the same bridge, but you may be crossing a bridge and the person that you burn a bridge with is on the same bridge with you. And that's just going to make your situation even more complex. So you learn how to take the good with the bad, and how to make these proper steps to move forward. So those are things that I've learned, because if you met me in my early teens and early 20s, I was on the bridge on fire, boy. I'll burn them things down. Y'all be exiled left, right, and center, because I get, and I mean down for the craziest thing. See, we're talking about breakups still. I remember I had this girl that I used to talk to, and I'm using the word talk to because me and she, relationship was strong, but she was like away from Jamaica for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And not saying I didn't like the phone call and text message sitting, because we wasn't even doing phone. It was all about internet back then, and she didn't have as much exposure. Yeah. So I had this girl that I was dealing with, and probably because I know I had something else. And she was like, oh yeah, we're together, and I let it slide, because I was like, you know what, my next Kathy's is on the next side of the world, and I'm over here, so I let her run with a little title. And then she came one day, and I was sitting here getting my hair braided, because I had long hair at the time, and she was like, yo, when you finish braiding hair, you gotta come see me now, yo, don't talk to nobody. So I'm looking at her like, yo,
don't talk to nobody.
Yeah, I was like, yo, who are you talking to?
Who is you?
So I got my hair done braided, and I walked over to her. Sure. I walked over to her. I was like, your visa expired, dog. And she was like, what do you mean by my visa expired? Like, we're done, dog. Who you talking to like that? Like, and
I had those type
you feel me?
too.
And dog, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this. Homegirl was very nice to me. Homegirl used to wash my clothes. You remember I just said I had long hair.
Yeah.
When my hair used to have to get pulled out, she used to sit there and pull it out. Take like about an hour. She oiled my scalp, cook me food, and all type of sitting in the. And I just felt like, yo, bro, like I just chop her up. Just because I just didn't like the way she was talking to me.
I did that same thing before too when I was in high school, and like that caused a scene. Let me tell you, that caused a scene, because like I was sitting there, and matter of fact, I think I was talking to Snook. I think it was me. It was me, Snook, and like 3 other people. We were just sitting there having a conversation, and my girl at the time, she walks up, and I don't know what crawled in there, but like she walks up, and she's like, oh, I need you to walk me to class right now. And I turn around, I'm like, yo, you all right? She's like, oh, I just want you to walk me to class. And blah, blah. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, give me 1 minute. She's like, you didn't hear what I said to you? So I turn around and I look.
Exile.
And then I turn back around and I started finishing my conversation, and they're looking at me or whatever. And she was like, oh, I know you hear me talking to you. I'm like, yo, y'all hear that? It sounds like somebody's single. And she froze up right there. She was like, what? And they were like, oh, shit. And I turned around. I'm like, dog, like, you are not going to come out here and talk reckless to me like that in front of people. Like that is completely disrespectful. Like, if that's the way that you trying to run a show or you trying to show out, I don't want it. so you could walk yourself to class and stuff like that. So, she went off, she did her thing, and then she did the whole Aaliyah, 4-page letter thing. It was notes. A super, super, super long apology or whatever. So it was just one of those type of things, boy. I was sitting there and I was like, hold up, dog. Cause it was there was people around me, dog.
Yeah.
If you're sitting here and you're agitated about something, we could talk about it. But to come at somebody like that, especially when you know their peoples are right there, that was intentional.
Yeah, you should know. Should know better than that.
Yeah, so you see, some people get exiled for the craziest reason. Because I can say this, and not all breakups are good, but sometimes a breakup needs to happen. You know what I mean? Because knowing the way my mind was and my mentality, I was a toxic person in that situation. Because she didn't need to be around me. I already had somebody in my life, but I was just trying to compensate for what wasn't there.
Yeah.
Now, and a long story short, after me and her separated, she got with a good friend of mine. He don't talk to me no more, but he got with her, and I know what it is because the way he got with her, because I know low key when I was talking to her, he was feeling her, right, and he knew I didn't really care. So the instant he started talking to her, he really didn't he just he used to see me instead of giving me dabs so we play ball or whatnot. He's just and I'm like, yo, why you acting so funny, dog?
That's because he knew he was crossing that line, dog.
he knew he was crossing the line, So I'm like, why are you acting that funny? And then he would never let me see him with her.
Yeah.
They would keep it secret. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, dog, I don't care, yo. Because then I got another shorty that I added to the roster during that moment. Right? So I added someone to the roster, and she basically told me that, not saying she didn't love him, because she ended up, they fell in love, they married and got kids. Yeah. Move on with the story before. But she was like, yo, it was just, the way it started was kind of hurtful, that I didn't know where our relationship was, but you just kept on walking in front of me with a new girl. You said something to me and then walk away, and then without no clarity. And then the next day, yes, it was bad. The next day I saw her. Yeah. I walked past her with her replacement. You feel what I'm saying? And true. It was bad. And then she basically stood in front of, because this is what happened. My house was next door to her house. So for any girl to come see me, they have to go by her house first to get to my house. So she's standing outside of her gate, right, just chilling, waiting to talk to me. And she see me walking, and then she realized that I was walking with another girl. So she thought that it was a friend. Yeah. Not until I walked past her, and I'm holding homegirl's hand, and she went to the crib, and left a couple hours later. She was like,
hours later.
That's a whole other story, Trey.
Yeah, I think she needs to break up with you, CN.
But in my mind, I was already broken up with her, because I said to her, yo, I told her passport has expired, so I was like,
"That's okay."
And then
did you legit told her?
I'll do that, but it counts. That doesn't count as a breakup, Stan.
Sure, I'm telling you,
she probably went home and checked her passport. No, it's not. It's good. So
what are you talking about?
We're going out tonight, right?
And I'm gonna say this, guys. Now, the person who made me really break up with her was a girl who was doing my hair. I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
Because when she said it, I was upset.
They usually end up being really smart too.
Yeah.
The hair braided females.
Well, I'm gonna show you then. It's because she was. That's a whole other rabbit hole. All right. Before we dug up.
She was another catty.
No, she wasn't a catty. She was a catty for somebody else. Yeah, so it's a dangerous. It's a
web that goes on.
Yes, it's a web that goes on in my life. Yeah, right.
Oh,
and see,
and now I'm going to Takashi nobody right now.
That was a situation that I had to break up with too. Right?
Yes.
So and what homegirl was basically was like, "Oh, you gonna let her talk to you like that?" She's braiding my hair, so she's like, yo, I'm gonna keep it real. If I was me, I would never let nobody talk into me. So she's sitting here gassing me up the whole time. So I'm sitting here getting my hair braided, right?
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm sitting here plotting, how am I going to break up with this girl whenever I see her? That's basically.
Where did you live at the time?
I was in Jamaica.
Okay.
So I was definitely in Jamaica, Dennis. For all my listeners out there. Yeah, definitely. All right. So, and not saying anything Dennis says. I said to you, the girl was good to me. What I mean, she was very, very good to me. And then when I found out that the reason why the girl who was braiding my hair was egging it on because she had a friend that was feeling me.
Oh, so she was planting the seed.
She planted a lot of seeds. All right. Yeah, she planted a lot. So she basically was trying to.
These knockout shots is
It's like her mentality was like, here, I'm breaking you up so I can get with another friend, right? Yeah. Now, the other friend is not somebody who was technically trying to get with because she had a nasty rumor that was stuck to her, and that's why one thing.
Oh, the name.
Yeah, no, but I want to say this, guys. Sometimes we need to break up with rumors. You know what I mean? You need to break
up with everything.
Yeah.
See, you break up with a lot of things, yo.
No, that's the reason why I want to go this. I wanted to go this direction because I feel like as we go through this evolution of life, as we go through this process of growth, we have to learn how to do certain things. That's the reason why I said I don't burn bridges anymore because, for example, the girl that she was trying to break me up with was a girl who she was trying to get me to go out with was a girl that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm gonna call her name because there's no truth to the matter, and I'm gonna say what the situation was. It was a girl that I grew up with. Her name was Roxanne, right? And Roxanne was a pretty girl, but this is the issue with Roxanne. So many guys liked her that there was always guys talking to her. She's one of them good-looking, one of them good-looking girls I grew up with that all the dudes trying to get at.
Yeah, always trying.
Always trying. So she did have boyfriends before. I'm gonna isolate that issue, but they were spreading a rumor. And Roxanne was feeling me, and they were like, "Yo, Roxanne got AIDS," and I'm like,
"Hey, that's not." I mean,
oh my god!
I gave a little laugh, but
I shouldn't be laughing.
It's not funny. That's like, that's messed up.
All right. So,
I should not be laughing.
So messed up.
So I want you to understand this.
Kids are evil.
Yeah. So Dennis, the day before I found this out, I was feeling Roxanne. I'm gonna keep it real. Shout out to the other girl, but. As I told you, I grew up with Roxanne.
Yeah.
So I've been feeling Roxanne since I know myself as a male. You know what I'm saying? Like, I start to understand that guys like girls, like, I've been feeling Roxanne. And this was my opportunity to shine. And then right I was about to get to the shot, they were like, "Oh, we heard Roxanne got AIDS." I'm like,
but hold on, why don't you just talk to Roxanne about that? Like,
well,
why would you believe a bunch of people like, "Oh, this is what it is"?
And that's the reason.
Especially if you grew up with her, like.
Well, and Donald, that's why you gotta break up with rumors because the people who was giving me this information about Roxanne, this is the thing. In Jamaica, we have community living, and I want to use the word community living, meaning that whatever is said inside of a community is kind of like it's written, even if it's live.
Yeah,
it's like if they start saying that it's written. And I did say to Roxanne, what I said to Roxanne after the fact, like, when she basically was like, "Yo, I'm coming to your house to come check you. I've checked you 3 times." Like, like she was like, "I'm down to play some baseball." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? And
that's how
then she was like, I'm trying to play.
I've never heard that term before.
She's trying to play some baseball.
Wait. No.
Yeah, Trev. Don't dig deep. Don't dig deep.
Just let it go. Just let it go.
Bases are loaded, Trev. So, she was like, "I'm trying to play baseball, and you ain't playing. You playing games, like." And she's like, the way the conversation did happen.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it real. I was happy to like, you don't understand after. Trev, you don't understand after that conversation, and. I was like, "Yo, dog," like I stepped out the block with Roxanne around my hand, like boom, like dog, like for all y'all people out here throwing the deuces up and the dudes are looking at you like you want to put your deuces down. Like you take it down. And my dude was like, "Yo." I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "Dog, homegirl is I was like, "She dying?" Like
stupid no one.
That was the extra coughing. You feel what I'm saying? And it made, and then, so the girl who started spreading the first rumor.
Yeah.
Now, she was feeling me. I didn't know that. But she basically told the guys, right? Then the guys told the girl who braided my hair, right? And then she told me. So then when I was like, "Yo," to my boys, like, "You heard, the homegirl told me that." They're like, "Dog, we know, dog. That's when we saw you coming out, you gave her the hugs," or like, like you're about to bust a kiss on her. We were like, "Yo," we were saving you because we we were basically thinking if you'd have kissed her, dog, you would have been it. We'd have looked at you like, dog, you didn't make it. You feel me?
Really?
Yeah. So
he's the same dudes that probably be like, oh, yo, let me go holler at her.
So that's how that went, and
foolishness.
Then so me and Roxanne didn't really kick off. You know, probably the Lord had it work that way because my wife to be was waiting for me to seal a deal in the future. But you know, that's why I had to break up with Rumors, because after that, Roxanne became a model.
Oh, she still lives because she don't have AIDS.
Yeah, she lives. She ain't got AIDS.
Shout out to Magic.
Oh my gosh.
So look, guys, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna keep it real. I spoke after this happened because I didn't talk to Roxanne. She said what she said, and I basically was like, look, mama, I'm gonna keep it real. This is what's being said about you, and because it was being said, and these are my peoples, because this is my boys who was telling me at the time, right? She was like, you know, so I just fell back, and she said the same thing you said, Donville. She was like, yo, you know what? I'm disappointed in you. I thought you were different, because before, instead of asking me and clarifying the situation, she was like, I really, really like you, and she's like, because of this, I really can't mess with you. You feel me? And I was like, dog, like, yo, you good, like. You feel me?
No,
you know,
she's like, always been good.
Yeah, she's always been
like nothing's changed, though.
She's always been good, but she was like, "Yo, she's like, and to get me right, she's like, if you'd have asked me in the beginning, I would have told you why she's saying that.
Yeah,
because she and the other girl who started a rumor, she's like,
beefing?
She was beefing, and she's like, yo, did they even tell you that we were beefing because I told her that I'm feeling you, and the next opportunity that I get for me to start talking, I'm gonna take it." So me seeing her around, I'm gonna keep her downhill. This time in my life, I was doing pretty straight, especially for a youngster in Jamaica. You know, she's like, yo, you know, I had all the stuff that was gaining her attention at that time in my life.
Yeah.
And for me, I was finally hitting the goal, because I'm gonna keep it real. At that moment, if I would have locked Roxanne down in that moment, especially growing up in my area, it's like you caught one of the good ones. But
yeah,
the homegirl spreaded the rumor based on that. And the thing is, Roxanne, and I mean, I'm still gonna get a little bit provocative. When you're in an area or community in Jamaica and anybody smash a shorty, it's like a community news. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this dude smashed. Like, there's no dude in the area who had a body count on her that could actually.
And how would she get AIDS?
So, but I mean,
you weren't thinking. You were thinking.
The power of children.
No, but I want to say this. These are
the second question, be like, yo, who gave it to her?
No, well,
nobody knows.
Nobody. I'm gonna keep it real.
Someone from foreign.
Well, I'm gonna keep it real. When that was said in Jamaica, and I want to say rumors are big. You feel me? Because it for her, it stuck with her. If I didn't explain to her what was going on, then she would never known how to address it. And then she had to address, then she kind of addressed homegirl for doing it. And then that's when everybody was like, you know, then I got put on the spot, because then there was like, yo, CN, like, and she was like, tell him that you know I don't got AIDS. And I'm like, well, I mean,
so she put you on the spot. You didn't.
Wait, not saying I could defend her. I defended her to an extent. I was like, look, real. I've never done anything.
How you defend somebody to an extent, though?
This is what I said.
He issued a disclaimer. You literally just said that right now.
What I said, I was like, look, I have not done anything with her, right? But from what I've known about her, she doesn't have AIDS. You know, because the homegirl was like, oh, you don't see her injection marks. And I mean, look, I don't, these are things as a youngster, as 13 years old, I didn't know what this was. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So me telling her, I never seen her take no injection. I don't see no pills. I don't smell nothing. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if you know,
we can't.
AIDS doesn't have a smell, y'all.
Yeah, but as a kid, we didn't know what the AIDS do.
You feel me? So I mean,
what's AIDS?
What's AIDS?
That's the crazy thing, especially growing up. Like, where I grew up too, especially for Lauderdale and stuff like that. I went to Bare Middle, and Lord, did I hate that school. And for the simple fact that rumors ruled that school too. Mm-hmm. So like, I had a particular situation where I was sitting there minding my business. Like, the people that knew me were the people that knew me. So I'm sitting there, and you always have those one or two people that go out and try to prove themselves.
Yes.
and they try to prove themselves based off of rumors.
Oh.
So you had the people that I gave hands to that were running around. I was like, oh yeah, you know, he's soft, he's this, that, and the third. So they're going around saying whatever it is. I didn't entertain that stuff. So you had one particular kid didn't take a liking to me too much. I didn't take a liking to him. He went with those rumors and made his best choice decision. So him and his boys decided to like walk up to me while I was sitting there eating my sandwich or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, after school we gonna fight. So I turned, I look, okay. That's all I say. I just say okay, and I turn around, I'm eating my sandwich. He's like, oh yeah, you better not run. I'm like, I'm not gonna run. I'm gonna come by myself too.
Like I see you after school there. You coming by yourself, right? Just you?
It's like, oh yeah, at 3 blah blah. I forgot what time school out. He's like, oh 3 blah blah. You better be there. I'm like, I'll get out of class early. I'll tell him I'm not feeling good. I'll see you over there.
I'll meet you over there, dog.
So sitting over there, the whole school starts getting riled up and stuff like that. I'm telling you, the people that already knew me were like, yeah, like this is not gonna end good. And the ones that didn't know me went with that rumor. So eventually, like everything was getting packed up, and they're like, oh yeah, everybody's saying that you about to get beat down. I was like, okay, like just.
I'll see you after school too.
Exactly. So like that was sitting there. That whole situation came about. So next thing you know, school ends. I'm posted up on the wall.
Yeah.
So then they come out from the door on the side of the building. They're like, oh yeah, look, he's not even here. I'm like, yo.
Right here.
So he turns. He's like, yo, he really did come by himself. I'm like, yeah, I really did come by myself. I'm like, which one of y'all going first? He's like, well, he was the one that's. I'm like, all right, so you going second. So then the kid, he sat there. He let the crowd get thick real quick. Big mistake.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to show out. Because he believed those rumors.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there. Everybody eventually showed up. I'm standing there. I'm like, can we just get this over with now? Like, I actually do have to get home by a certain amount of time. So I'm trying to get this over done quick. I got a lot of y'all to run through. So they're like, ooh. And he's like, oh, yeah, you only going to be fighting one today. Dog, I was disappointed. I was so disappointed because, like, I was used to fighting by that time. So, like, if you're sitting there and you're running that much mouth, you have to give me more than 15 seconds. I'm telling you, like, you gotta give me more time than just 15 seconds. Like, he was done. Like, I dropped kid.
Yeah.
And his boys were standing there. I was like, so you number 2, right? And they're like, no. We ain't had nothing to do with it. We ain't had nothing to do with it. I'm like, you just gonna leave your mans there and you gonna run off?
That's not my man.
He's like, yo, he just wanted us to come with. I'm like, shh. I picked up my backpack and I just left. And then you heard one of my boys like, yo, I told y'all, like, blah. It's like, I told y'all, leave it be. I told you. So then the next day at school, like, homeboy walks up. Actually, no, I got suspended. After I came back, because I got suspended. Because the teachers came out and I got suspended for, I think, 7 days. So we came back. No, that's how it works. In the school, like, when the school year started, you got suspended for 3 days twice. I memorized this. 3 days twice, 7 days twice. And then after that, for the rest of the semester, it's a consecutive 10 days.
Dang.
That school year, I think I got suspended off of the bus probably about 6 times.
Yo,
and out of school about 3 times.
If you was my kid, you wouldn't have it behind, yo.
Oh, I'm surprised I got one now, dog. But like, that's the thing that like
delivered you by the second suspension.
That's the thing, because like I was genuinely a nice guy in school. Like I was cool. Like I hung out with whoever it was that I hung out with.
Yeah.
So like when it came to those situations, and you had those people down south that wanted to prove themselves.
Yeah.
They go and pick on somebody that they think that they can.
I ain't gonna lie.
So like if you didn't know me or know somebody that knew me,
you have to prove that.
You wouldn't have known my record, dog. Like And that was the situation with that.
You got no rules, Dennis. You got to get hit first, man. Take that hit.
Oh, I always take the first hit.
Then how'd you get suspended?
How did I? It doesn't matter. You fought.
So now I'm gonna say this.
Plus, at the same time, like when they came out, I was the one that was standing over him.
Oh, see,
so like,
man.
Here's another thing about rumors. The teachers and the deans thought I was a school bully because every time that I got into a fight and they showed up, I was the only one standing.
Yeah.
So I was the one that was being seen as the bully.
Dang.
So
see, Dennis, you didn't learn from an early age. Once you fight, you run. Like you finish.
Okay. Gone.
See, but if they come out like right at the end, because kids are loud.
And
so like
I know Bear Mill because I used to play ball there too. So go around the corner. There's a literally street right there with
it was like you gotta be gone from school property.
So like the way where we was at, like you know the side of the building where the loop is, like you have the bus right here and then you have the car loop right here. Mm-hmm. We fought like right next to the car loop. So them teachers were literally right down the hallway.
Yeah, why would you do that?
So they came out.
It's a street right next to it.
Look, bro, I was trying to bang, bro. So like that was that situation. So basically, I come back to school. I come back to school. After that 7 days, I sit in the class. We have the same class together. So the next thing I know, they're like, yo, we heard blah, blah, blah. Like, beat your ass, dog. Like, what happened? I thought you knew how to fight. I was like, who did what? And then he turns around. He's like, oh, don't act like you didn't lose. So I stood up. And he went like this. He put both his hands up. He was like, yo, chill.
Oh my gosh.
And so his homeboy, the same one that was leaving him there, I was like, yo, why don't you go ahead and clarify this situation? Since we got two people here, go ahead and be the third party. Because everybody that came out to watch, most of them was his peoples, and my peoples wasn't in that class.
Yeah.
So it's like, go ahead and clarify the situation. He was like, well, James did win. I was like, all right, bet. And I was in Miss Carter's class. She was my favorite teacher back then. She was my English teacher. So I was like, all right, bet. So I sat there, I moved my desk out the way. I was like, stand up, dog. She's like, for what? Yo, I went to swing and she caught me. And he was like, yo, he beat him up. She's like, you can't do that in my class. I told you can't do that in my class. I'm like, it's the principal. Like, I knew those kind of words back then. I'm like, it's the principal. And like, honestly, like, she was one of the best teachers that I had back then.
Yeah.
Because like, growing up during that time period, like a lot of teachers in that school were freaking racist. Like a lot of them were racist. And she was a black lady. Her son for the time played for Green Bay and stuff like that. She was mad humble. Like, and I would always go to her class just to talk to her. Because she was that one teacher, like for like the black kids and stuff, she was always on our side. Everything. So she knew how I was. She knew my mom. She knew like how like the school system was and everything like that, and how they perceived me to be and stuff like that. Like she knew the situations because a lot of those like situations that popped off, she was there. You feel me? And she knows that I didn't like to cause trouble.
Yeah.
But I did not mind entertaining the situation or finishing the situation itself, which is where she always chastised me. So like that's I don't know, like, bro, like I was a bad jit, dog. Like,
we see
bad shit. Like, it's just like I think it's because the way I grew up with my cousins and stuff like that. Like my cousins used to bully me, dog, and they bully me because they didn't want me to be soft.
Yeah,
you feel me? Because like down there, you had a reputation, and your reputation followed you with your family as well. So like we all lived in the same area. My cousins basically ran like the block, streets over, and the schools that they went to. Like they were the alpha. They were the apex predators.
Yeah.
So like when it came down to that, like if that's my family, if somebody runs up on me, and like usually it wouldn't be like, you know, grown kids jumping you. They'll bring their little brothers or their little sisters or whatever, and they'd be like, yo, oh, you blah blah blah's like cousin or blah blah blah's brother. Yo, run hands.
Yeah.
Just like that. Like just that alone counts as a win. You feel me? So to avoid that situation, you gotta toughen them up. So they used to fight me all the time. And I'm talking about like I'm sitting here elementary school banging out with high school kids. You feel me? Like middle school and high school kids. So like eventually it just stuck. You feel me? So like it got stuck with me too. But
yeah, I feel you though. I can say my family members was very well known in my areas, in a sense. Even when I came here, so I completely understand. You know, in the sense of fighting, because when I get into my fights, my official fight in high school, I mean, I didn't think about calling my people because I kind of think my situation would have turned out a little bit bleak, but my family did show up. So I'm kind of happy that I did have some families that stuck around and make sure that I'm good. Because I'm the second to last of my generation.
Yeah.
Shout out to my cousin Ricky. You feel me? So I have a lot of elderly representative
yeah,
of my family.
It's and the crazy thing, now that I think about it, I think the whole mentality I had back then was ruled by fear as well. Cause like I'm like they literally, my cousins literally told me, they're like, yo, if we heard that you started scrapping and you lost, you gonna be fighting 2 to 3 times that day. He's like, first you gonna, if you don't go back and fight them again and win, you fighting all of us, and if you lose, you fighting all of us anyway. So like it was just one of those things where like it was like that extreme peer pressure where you just wanted to just make these people happy. So like I had situations where like I would just be minding my own business, but they would be with me or whatever, and then like something would pop off, like some kid would say something reckless. Like I've had that happen a couple of times because like people like to run jokes and stuff like that. So some kid would say something reckless, and I'm like, oh dear God. And then all you hear is like, yo, you gonna take that?
God, I used to hate that.
So I'm sitting there and like, yo, you really gonna sit here next to us and take that? It's like, yo, you better go handle your business right now. You better go handle your business right now. And I'm sitting there like, and you gotta do it to him because like that. Like that was
true.
it.
It's true.
Like,
I can say I had a horrible
because you don't do that at work. Huh? You don't do it to a white man.
Oh no, but like
it's true. Like
it was like a wolf pack type of mentality back like down there. Like
I don't know. I go with TK Kirtland. Who raised you? That'd be my response. Who raised you?
It's like you have
where's Auntie at? Because you tripping right now.
You know that whole like Christian lifestyle at home with your parents and stuff like that. But like when you leave the house and you go to school or you're outside, like that is what you're dealing with. Your mom's at work and like you're sitting there, your cousins are watching you. That's what you're dealing with.
Oh my gosh,
you feel me? Like that's what I had though. Like granted, I don't regret it. Thing like that, but it was a lot of unnecessary situations that I ended up getting into that I didn't even want to cause. You feel me? Like, I was just there. I was literally just there.
I don't know. Growing up, I had a bunch of female cousins. For real, that's what it was. And like, yo, they wouldn't let me, because I was the baby cousin, so they wouldn't let anything happen to me. But it's more focused like, Dom, you need to get them grades in check. Get that bookwork in check. That was more the motivation what they would give me.
Well, I had what was it? It was Junior was my oldest cousin. Oh, wow. I had Toto, which was the cousin that I was normally with. Like
shout out to Toto.
He was the more level-headed one.
Yeah.
Like he made me run hands a lot. Like he did, but he was one of those that gave you that street knowledge. Like so, I was with him most of the time, and then there was Sandra, and like Sandra had like she was known, boy. Like Sandra dragged a lot of females. Like yo, that block right there. Like I didn't understand the magnitude of what they held down till I got older. And the thing is, like once I got older, before I moved out of like that area or whatever, there was like a bunch of us that lived there. There was them, and then my other younger cousins lived behind us, and then our other cousins lived next to us, but like their kid, he was young too, so like it was literally them and then me. So after like I got a little bit older, like that was basically my block. You feel me? Like that was my block. And then they moved, and then I moved somewhere else. So like it went from living in that specific area where everybody knew you and knew what you were about, to moving somewhere else where nobody knows you.
Yeah.
And then everybody wants to test you. So like after you already got tailored into that specific mentality, you just don't tolerate anything. Like I was
at the same time, you're in that middle school age, and you're kind of trying to figure yourself out too. Mm-hmm. It was a tough time for kids
in that area.
Yeah,
it was very hostile.
Yeah, and I had like horrible teachers. Like I said, some of my teachers are racist. I had teachers that were trying to fail me for literally no reason.
Dang.
Like my mom ran up in there and she went nuts, bro. Like she went freaking nuts. She almost beat down my math teacher at a parent-teacher conference. So, like
that. We didn't have a therapy hour.
Yeah, man. I'm really concerned about your upbringing.
I mean, I went through a lot of stuff. Like that's why, like when it comes to like little things like that, like I get agitated fairly quickly, but it's not necessarily because I have a short temper. It's because like my mind processes information really, really fast.
Yeah.
So I'll go from one extreme to the next or whatever, and then go back, and it's like a swing. You feel me? So like I'm sitting here trying to find like the median, but I'm fueled off of my emotions.
Yeah, you gotta have time to sit back and kind of take information in.
Yeah, so like I had to basically teach myself that over time, and honestly, I taught myself that through being grounded consecutively. I had a lot of time to myself. So, but like I said, it's like when I grew up like that, like the worst part about it was basically when like I go back to those situations with my cousins and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily be mad or anything when I got into those situations. I would be upset. They would be upset, and I would have to make myself upset in order for me to do what I had to do. And that was pretty much like the worst part about it, because like after a while, like you don't know what you should be mad about and what you shouldn't be mad about. You know, like so like it was a lot of that stuff going on. So like granted, like and my parents were like very, very like strict, like Christian people. Like I'm talking about like by the book, everything. So like you had that, and then you went to school and you had all these teachers that basically were trash, and then you had all the kids that were basically trash too, and then you had like basically the whole like upper echelon of the school or whatever. I think the only faculty member that was there that literally didn't think I was a delinquent was the assistant principal.
Dang.
And that's because she knew me personally and she knew my mom. Other than that, everybody else thought I was trouble. And it was mostly because I was just there. You feel me? Just there.
Because you won't run when authority comes around.
Exactly. Like, I wouldn't run because, like, that's how I got tailored. You feel me? Like, yo, if the business pops up, you handle it. Like, that's how I got programmed as a JIT. You feel me? So like, if it already pops off, you don't walk away because you're gonna have to deal with it tomorrow anyway. Like the way that it showed you, deal with it right there when it happens. Don't let nobody punk you out. Like so, like I always got suspended. There was only like one time like I actually walked out of a situation and I didn't understand it till I got older. But like I had 2 white kids try to jump me. And down there, that was a serious thing. That was a very serious thing. So,
first off, where 2 white kids know each other down there?
Band class.
Okay.
Because I was in band, because I needed an elective.
Yeah.
So I was in band. So like, you had one kid who we had band and math together, and the other kid I just had band with. So of course they're gonna stick together because everybody else in band class was ethnic or they kept to themselves.
Yeah.
So push comes to shove, that situation happens. Next thing you know, same situation, didn't run, in the hallway, both of them there, I'm the only one standing. So then the teachers come up and I'm like sitting there and I'm waiting for it and they're all standing there and they're like, what happened? I'm like, they tried to jump me. Like, okay, well, let's just go to the office and then we'll figure everything out. So then, my mom, my mom came out of work and you heard her as she walked into the building, bro. My mom was like, yo, what the F is going on at this school? Blah. So then that's when the assistant principal came up, because she didn't want to talk to nobody else but her.
Yeah.
So, like, that came up, and she started explaining how the situation looked to them. And she was like, yo, so what are you going to do about this? Because it's obvious what happened here.
Yeah.
Yo, so I'm sitting there, and then the next thing I know, I'm thinking I'm going to get suspended, and they tell me to go back to class. And I'm looking around, I'm like...
And that's when it clicked for Dennis.
I'm like, really? I'm like, I'm good. It's like, yeah, go back to class. They're getting expelled. I was like, what? For what? Because like, you only got suspended for fighting.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, for what? It's like they're getting expelled because they decided to take it upon themselves to try and harm you together.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's two white people trying to harm a white person in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's
dog.
bad.
Yeah.
Yo, like, my mom was going nuts in that office. She was like, yo, y'all better not let nothing happen to him. Blah. And this was when we were moving up here anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, it was crazy. Because, like, we were supposed to move up to Palm Bay in, like, a week or whatever. And, whatchamacallit, I ended up getting into another fight the next day. And, like, dog, like, there was nothing that could save me in that moment right there. Because, like, I didn't even start it. I literally just walked down the hallway and the kid pushed me. And that was it. Like, and then they popped up, and literally the same teacher that popped up the last time, like, literally yesterday, and broke it up, is the same teacher that popped up. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I didn't do it. He's like, no. So
the teacher is right, Dennis. You sound like you didn't let things go. Let things roll off your shoulders. It sounds like you did none of that during junior high school.
Here's the thing, though. Like, when it came to like there, if you tried to walk away from the situation, they would pursue you. They wouldn't let you walk away.
And that's how
especially if
they
knew they could take you.
That's how they get suspended, though.
I would have walked right into the principal office's Exhibit A.
You see what's happening.
But you can't, like, snitching was no.
Man.
Like, that was no. Like, yeah, like that right there. Like, I saw what happened to kids that did that.
I'm glad you moved out of that neighborhood, Dennis.
Change your life,
You're
bro.
a key reason why I cannot see myself back down south living.
I would never. I wouldn't even let my kids live down there.
Unless we dumb rich. Can we live in like the other side?
Yeah.
But no. But I was like not knocking broad because I love my home, but to live? No.
No way.
And like that's part of the reason why I'm kind of happy my brother grew up here instead of down there. And
but you gotta take him down and let him see the experiences that you.
Oh, he loves my cousins.
That kind of hardens up. So us men do need some type of hardening there. Growing up in rough areas, growing up without knowing that, you call the police, expect them to come maybe 2 or 3 hours later. Mm-hmm. Like, there's reasons why delivery trucks don't come out on the street. Like, that kind of
ice cream truck getting run up on, like
realities, but
like people were mobbing for no reason down there, and like it was just one of those things. And like you said, like it was like I got to the point where I was so mechanically like programmed with dealing with stuff like that that like whenever it popped off, I had to deal with it like right there. So like as soon as he got me, I got expelled right there, and I was like, dog, I cannot tell my mom. I got expelled. So like I'm sitting there, and this is how I knew, like, found out that if you travel to a different district, that it doesn't count.
Yeah.
So like basically, I got expelled from school, and then my mom was like, "Okay, you don't have to go to school for the rest of the week because I need you to pack your stuff." I was like, "Thank you, Jesus." So like I'm sitting there, and then we go to what is that school over by Turner?
Over by Turner.
Southwest
by Bayside.
Yeah, over by Exodus, the middle school over there.
Yeah, it's on the corner of
Turner's the
Eldron and
elementary
Jupiter.
school, and then right next to it is Southwest.
Yeah.
So basically, went to Southwest, sitting in the front office, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, "This is it. This is where I'm officially about to die." Because we moved out here, and she goes to check me into the school and everything like that. They're like, "Oh, okay, he's good. He can go to class." So I'm sitting there. I'm like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah." Are you okay? I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I'm fine.
Like, I'm supposed to be expelled from school.
Because I thought, as soon as I moved up here, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, we can't take him because he got expelled at the other school."
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't know how that stuff worked. So, like, that was, whew, dog. To this day, she still never knew.
I'm gonna tell this
I
podcast.
gotta tell her. Yeah. She actually wanted to listen to the podcast.
Well, today's episode. Back in times of Dennis Daniel.
I would have shipped you to Jamaica so fast, man. Boy, you got a first class flight to Jamaica.
Dog.
Get the real experience.
Listen, before you continue.
Oh, I'm already out of air.
Okay. We gotta wrap up.
All right.
Yes.
Only thing I was gonna mention, I saw Us. I encourage everyone to watch Us.
Oh, I got a fresh on
that.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's a very good horror film. And I do not like horror films. But this one, it's going to have a lot of things to talk about after you watch it. Just remember Jeremiah 11:11. That's a very important verse about this movie. And this is do not expect it to be like Get Out.
Okay.
It is completely a different movie. What else about it? It's true one of the best horrors I have ever seen. And I'm still tripping. My girl still hates me for bringing her to watch this. She slapped me so much times.
Nice.
Just saying, "Why did you bring me here?" I'm like, "Yo, because I have a podcast and I got to talk about this."
You're free.
I'm probably peep it tonight.
Yeah, and guys, we did an episode for Nelly X now.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago. That actually is going to be aired on Wednesday on their channel.
YouTubes.
So YouTube. So go ahead and check that out. You know, hit them up on Instagram.
What's
Twitter.
the channel name again?
The channel name.
I thought it was Nell X Nelly.
Hey, one of the above. You know,
Nelly X Nelly.
Oh, I thought you had it up. I thought you were reading from something.
No, I was not. I was actually.
Let's make sure we get it.
You gotta look that up, dog.
I want to make sure. Yeah, I want to make sure it's right.
Are you gonna get that phone call?
Oh, it's Nell X Nelly.
That's NELLE X
Nelly.
NELLY.
Yo, on the real, I've had this pen in here in
Yeah.
my Note 8, and I probably only used it about 4 times. And I've had this phone for almost 2 years.
I'm going to sleep.
I use my pen a lot.
I want to go sleep. That's it.
All right. So, guys, check them out. You guys know how to go ahead and check us out. You hit us on every platform. You know us. So, guys, I'm wrapping up with a positive thought of the week. Be careful of the bridges you burn, because sometimes those same bridges is going to take you to safety. One Pod Podcast, episode 41. We out.
Peace.